Hello, everyone, and welcome to the world of the International Fab Talks. It's a joy when you connect with the right kind of people, when you talk to people and try to understand their thought process, try to understand their everyday life activities. It's a beautiful way to bond, network, and connect with the right kind of people. I enjoy talking to people and getting to know more about their lives and what has inspired them to be who they are today, how many difficulties they have undergone in their lives, how they have stood the test of time. We can draw a lot of inspiration from all of these guests who share their journey with us on the International Fab Talks. It could be anyone from any walk of life, a professional, an unsung hero, or a simple commoner like you and me, could just share the space over here and share your thoughts and views. My dear friends, it's time to welcome our celebrity guest for today. He's none other than Mr. Seshadri Varadarajan, joining us all the way from Tamil Nadu, if I'm not mistaken, Chennai in Tamil Nadu, right? He was actually born in Kadlur, my dear friends. So that's why I had to put a pause over there. He's joining us all the way from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. We'll get to know more about him. First, let's say hello to him and welcome him on stage. Today, we are going to discuss about the book that he has published. He's a wonderful author. He's been able to put all his thoughts, and it's like an autobiography, to put it right. He's been putting it in a very right way, and he has a very sharp memory to remember all the incidents right from the early stages of his life till date. What are the challenges he faced, and how did he overcome all of these challenges with a smile on his face? Let's say hello to him and begin the journey. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Namaste and welcome to the session.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I go ahead and just share your profile briefly and then we begin.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. So, dear friends, as I do that, always sharing the profiles of all our celebrity guests. Today, I'll be very brief by sharing the profile of our celebrity guest. He is none other than Mr. Seshadri Varadarajan, lovingly also known as Sabyasachi. Sabyasachi is the name connected with Lord Arjuna. Lord Arjuna was also called as Sabyasachi. We have with us Mr. Seshadri Varadarajan. He is the National Head Safety Trainer, a great author, and he is joining us all the way from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. I'll not add much more to his profile because we're going to discuss about his book. It's a review about a beautiful book. And you'd love to know the name of the beautiful book, my dear friends. The name is already visible. So according to our celebrity guest, No One Should Cry When I Die. That is the title of his book. And I really like this. In fact, each one of us should have this and tell the people we love around us. No one should cry when we die. We've done our job. We've done our work very well. We've done our very best. And so when we leave this world, it's a form of liberation. So let's be liberated from the worldly sufferings, the worldly pain, and go into the next world. So death is something that we should welcome and we should respect the person who has left this planet. Dear sir, I really like the title, No One Should Cry When I Die. I repeat that for all our viewers as well. The book that sir has written is No One Should Cry When I Die. We'll get to know more about it. First, we'll talk about the title. The title really is very catchy, and anyone would just pick up this book just by reading the title. Why did you select such a title?
It's quite an interesting thought why I selected this title. Since childhood, been reading books a lot, starting with all the Amar Chitrakathas to the Enid Blytons and then the Hardy Boys, and then moving on to Jeffrey Archer, Agatha Christie, and all those famous fiction novels at one side, and then going through all the self-improvement books, which are dime a dozen in the market. Now, there is this famous motivational author called Robin Sharma. One of his very famous books is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Now, the moment you think of Robin Sharma, this title comes to your mind. But he has written a lot of books, and there is one book in which he asks, who will cry when you die? The essence of that book is, like you have lived a life, whatever it is. Now, towards the end of the journey, how many people would actually miss you, and how many would really miss you by crying, which is a natural emotion? So after reading the book, once when I was introspecting about 7 years back. Now I thought, if I have to write a book, I need a catchy title. The phrase is well known. A book is known by its cover. But these modern times, Gen Z prefers a title. Something, which should catch them. So I was thinking at that point of time, now who will cry when I die? When you make a list of people, there were not many. So I decided to have a thought. No one should cry when I die. Now, he asked, who will cry when you die? I replied to him saying that no one should cry when I die. Now, this thought was there in the mind. Nothing concrete happened. Years passed. Till COVID, nothing happened. Then one day during COVID, I thought, we had thought of a title, a lot of free time now. Why don't we put it into action? And I started writing the first chapter. But before the first chapter, a thought came to me. Why no one should cry when you die? Of course, you have your family members, close family members. You'll have your very close friends. You'll have your office colleagues. You have motivated a lot of people. There would be someone out there who would definitely wish to cry. But then I had the thought that we say, celebrate life. We say, celebrate life. Then I had this intuition that when you die, it is only the physical form that dies. The soul is eternal. The physical form has died. It's moved to another realm altogether. But if you have done good, if you have done whatever good for the society, or okay, you may not have done good for many, still people would remember you. And at that point, when a person is liberated from his human form, all the worldly responsibilities, why someone should cry? Rather, celebrate his death also, so that that person who lived the life as a celebration feels happy. And second, if you take into a worldly context, what is that level of success what I have achieved? When we look at success, we talk of, say, business success. We look at a lot of the top businessmen who made it to the Fortune 500, Fortune 50. Those guys, we say they are successful. Celebrities, we often feel they are more successful than us. But we forget those each and every small victories, which meant a lot to us, were never celebrated because of the worldly definition of success. So I thought, let my life story be known to people. Now, anyway, no one is going to write about you. And I believe that every person is a book by itself. It is just that I told my story, the others did not.
Wow.
So that's how this turned out. No one should cry when I die. The idea developed and I went on. But again, in life, you always have one greatest enemy. It is known by the word procrastination. But it is you who procrastinates, not the world. Procrastinated on the title. I had an editor confirmed. And that wonderful editor by name, Divya Balaji, last year, that is January 1st, 2024, she gave me an ultimatum. She said, sir, you have been dodging. You have sent me four chapters. I don't think it is enough. So I'll motivate you. And she said, first thing is deposit 15,000 in my account. Then only you will remember that you have to write. Deposited. Till June, as usual, nothing happened. Usual stories, busy with training, this, that. Finally, she gave another ultimatum. Sir, if you don't if we don't release the book by this year end, I think we'll call off the project because I won't have time later. So her final ultimatum paid off. and the book got released before the year end.
Excellent, sir. Thank you for taking us to that beautiful journey of how you began that journey and how you procrastinated, but towards the end, with a little, nudge from Divya Balaji, you've been able to succeed in
Yes.
publishing the book. That's
Yes.
really nice. And hats off to Divya Balaji as well for the hard work that she put behind it, the moral support that she gave you or the encouragement she gave you. That's really wonderful. Now, sir, we'd love to know about your stint. You mentioned business while you were just
Right.
sharing now, just a few
Right.
minutes ago. You also happened to start your own business venture,
Yes.
which took off well for a certain amount of time, but then again, there were lots of ups and downs, and many of your partners began to leave you. I mean, your friends, like, there was a lot of thing that went on, and I could relate to it, or many of them will relate to it, and it would resonate with many of the people. When you take your friends and family as partners, like, there's not much you can do. I feel so, like, you always have to compromise on many things. So was this also in your case? And how did the business end up? If you could share that journey, like in brief, it would be nice.
Definitely. See, my going into business was more of a circumstance than actually wanting to get into that. I was working for the dealers of Voltas in Vijayawada. The name of the company was Ramco Agro Private Limited. And I was doing well for 6-7 years over there. I had been one of their top salesmen. I had gone on the achievement trips along with my director, Mr. KVS Prakash Rao. And that organization, I learned a lot. I learned a lot in the sense not only selling, I was involved in even small clerical things like writing a way bill, etc. Life was all hunky-dory. In between, I also managed to go to that group study exchange trip and come back. And I was contemplating the future. I got a call from somebody saying that we like to buy air conditioners. Can you come and meet us at a hotel? So now I was wondering which customer will ask you to come to a hotel to discuss business. When I went there, it was a competitor company called Blue Star. And they simply said, we are looking for sales managers and dealers. Sorry to call you in this way, but can we take your time, talk to you? They talked to me. And at that point, I was in no intention of changing the company. So I told them I'll become a dealer. I'll get into business and all that. Then one fine day, they called up saying, we can't offer you business, but we'll give you a very lucrative job, well-paying job. And I had to shift. There was a manager at that time who after 6 or 7 months over there, 8-9 months, suggested the place where you are from, Vijayawada, at that time, that territory is not doing well. So why don't you become a dealer? Since you are our employee, we'll not charge you any joining fees or all that formalities of things can be waived off and you can start straight away. Now I thought it's a great idea to be a businessman, work your own hours. So without any planning or something, I got into it. One of my friends became a partner. And the first year, yes, I agree, we did well. The market started taking notice. Higher companies started taking notice. And then suddenly, it all nosedived. Because recent study says an organization has to have a system. I absolutely did not have any system. It was just like daily getting up, running for orders, executing, that's all. There was no proper business plan. 2, they always say you have to hire the right people. Okay, yes, I hired friends thinking that could they help me out. They'll work a little more harder than someone who you recruit and pay money. So ultimately what happened was they did not put in their efforts. Now they did not put in their efforts is my failure because I could not monitor the efforts. And those were the days you did not have the personal loans what are given today. Today, even if you have 3 personal loans, there is one guy who will come and take over all the loans and give you another. But those days, the market was tough, credit was mounting. And every day it was like, why did I get into business? So finally, after 3, 4 long years, being obstinate, being stubborn, that things will change. You can be obstinate, you can be stubborn, but without a plan, nothing changes. So then finally, my family and all decided, you come back to employment, forget all that. But one thing I can be proud of that failed business is I've repaid every single penny of my creditors. I did not even keep a single penny of my creditors, and in fact paid all my staff till the last before we closed. Then came down to Chennai, the future changed. So I believe that God closed me one door of being an entrepreneur. He opened another, which totally opened a different chapter in my book altogether.
Very interesting, sir. Thank you for sharing all of that. So, we'll also talk about organ donation. It started off with your mother donating her eyes when she passed away, right? Your father also donated his organs, if I'm not mistaken, and you intend to donate your organs when you pass away. And I'm sure each one of us should learn this from you. Passes on, like you are there still even after you're gone. So can we talk about organ donation and how did your mother become so progressive? Because she belonged to the earlier times, and then people have certain superstitious beliefs, etc., passed on or conditioned beliefs. So how did she break the barrier and go in for organ donation?
Breaking the barrier of organ donation in a sense, it all started with me joining Usha Fire Safety Equipments Private Limited. I was aware of organ donation and I thought, yes, I'll donate my organs way back. But, organ donation is done only when the physical body is not there anymore. So my mother used to be impressed by the training programs we used to conduct. And my managing director, Mr. Jagdish Adappa, said, why don't you bring your mother one day to one of our training sessions? Let's you also watch how we deliver training. So there was a centralized training program organized for many customers. And she came down there along with me to witness it. And not only we had a training program that day, we also had one famous singer by name S.R. Krishnamurthy, a man without arms and legs, who is now around 70 years, but sings very beautifully. So he was also part of that gathering. And my mother used to love classical music. And after listening to him, after listening to my MD sir's speech, she said, yes, I would also like to donate my eyes. Even though the belief of our particular community may not believe in that, but still it's my body. So when I pass away, you ensure that those eyes are donated. Not only that, there is a hospital in Chennai, which is led by a doctor, an eye surgeon, Dr. Sujata Mohan. And she was one of our pet kids when we were in that small town called Nelikuppam near Kadalur, where my grandfather used to work. So this lady, when she became a doctor, she said, eye donation should be done and my eyes should go to that hospital only so that she'll ensure it is properly used. So that's how it all started with my mother. Father's organ donation was more from my side. I thought, having done with mom, 2 people are able to see. Now, if same case is done for dad, 2 more people are going to see. And finally, even one of our directors, Mr. Jayashri Ladappa, when he had passed away a couple of years back, even his organs were donated. A couple of organs became useful. So what happens is, an organ donation gives life to some other person. So by using an organ in your body, which is useful, which otherwise would have been buried or burnt or whatever it is, when it goes into another human life, where that human survives, you're as well surviving through that human being. The 2 eyes which watch the world, which have been yours and seeing the world, the colors which we see, which many cannot see, can make you elevate the suffering of someone. So that helps a lot. That I would say is the ultimate thing you can give back to the society.
Excellent, sir. That's really nice. Now we'd like to know what is the easiest way to, register for organ donation? Because many of them don't know that. Like, what is the easiest way? Should one go to any company or something?
There is no need for
online?
there is no need for any technical thing for organ donation. Once the human body is declared dead by the hospital authorities, you can contact any nearest hospital. You can ask in that hospital itself if they take organ donation.
Okay.
So
In
if
any
they
hospital.
do it, yeah, if they do it, they will probably harvest the organs what are required, which are useful, and they would hand over the body back to the relations so that the final rites can be performed. But if you're planning only an eye donation, the moment the declaration comes, you can call up any eye hospital. So they would come quickly within an hour, remove the cornea of the eyes. They don't actually remove the eyes or any other things. They only take and graft the cornea. Though your eye is taken out, but only the cornea is transplanted. And as of now, medical science says if there are two eyes, minimum one person or two persons can definitely see. And later on, there is innovation which is being discussed. If there is one cornea and it can be of two eyes into four parts, tomorrow even four people can be gifted the sight. So there is no special registration, but the relations should be told that I have planned this. And if it happens, please do it. And one of my school friends, Venu Madhavan, who was one of the top students in our class and who did very well in life, unfortunately had to contract a terminal illness. And when he passed away, his family was gracious enough to do the organ donations. In fact, the whole body was donated. So whatever organs useful were harvested and done. So there are precedents in front of me. And I would ensure these precedents are kept alive as long as I live in this world.
Really nice. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you very much. We now would love to know about Kritika. Kritika is your sister?
Yes.
And I think you hold her very close to your heart because she's been there through thick and thin. And every now and then, when there was some difficulty at home, she would connect with you and give you the missed calls and, try to make you understand that your presence was important at home. But I really admire the grit of this lady, like, being there all the time. Is she your only sister of you, right?
Yes. Yes.
So what do you have to say about Kritika today on camera?
Right. Kritika is one girl. She was the youngest of the family. So naturally, she would get all the love one can shower. But when she was born, maybe after some 10, 15 days after she was born, she had some kind of childhood illness at that time. And I remember it was towards my third grade in Sholapur, where I was studying for my exams and other things. And both my mother and this girl had to be admitted in the hospital because there could have been a threat to her life at that time. But thankfully, this girl survived and became even more the pet of my father. Now, she was just the darling of our house. And sometimes when we needed a favor to be done by father, we would approach through her. All the three brothers had the same policy. Go through her. Because approach directly will result in whatever punishment. But through this, she'll somehow convince and get it done for you. Now, having grown up with her very closely, having brought her up in such a way that, she loves everything. And she became a combination of both my father and mother. In the sense, she was very lovable like my mother, but she was also very damn strict like my father. Even today, even whenever I mess up a little thing, the firing I get from her always kickstarts me back into action. We had a very serious time during COVID where she had some kind of an infection in the body which could not be detected. She was taken by us to every doctor. We took her to a cardiologist, to a neurologist, to everybody. But somehow one day it became so serious. No hospital beds available. Brothers, one is in Africa, the other is in other part of Andhra Pradesh. And I'm here during COVID with my own flat having a COVID person. Yes, restrictions were imposed. But despite all this, using our contacts, friends, and other things, we got her admitted in a hospital. 2 days, all was well. Third day, she was put on a ventilator. But then that was the time I realized a ventilator is good. Because when your lungs are injured, the air pumped by the ventilator, the oxygen, with high power, can heal the lungs. Fortunately, she is young enough to take care of that, tough enough to survive, and she's back with us in the same way. Now, she's been with me all the time. She's been my sort of motivator every time I feel down. But she's the one who ensures that I'm always performing on top of my game. She's like the one who reminds me what I'm actually capable of. Rather than, I have this own thing, what I can do, what is this and all. But she comes back. She comes back in the tone of my father. I know what you can do. Now don't just give me all that nonsense what you gave to mother. So in that typical way, she is one of us. And because of her, I would like to say that I exist in a very happy manner, more than whatever it might be. And my niece, Aishwarya, is another gem. She's finished her engineering exams and she's currently doing an internship in an organization near my office. So she's another strong girl born out of Kritika, another incarnation of Kritika. Same like her mother when it comes to talking to me. But it's this kind of a family that actually motivates anyone to do better. It's not Seshadri, it's about every individual who has relations who can motivate you and keep you going. And when I said I'm going to write a book, he just gave an expression that now you want to write books also. Now finally, when it was done, she did not express her happiness thoroughly through, but I could see through the eyes that she was one of the most happiest person that her brother has become an author and a published one at that.
Excellent, excellent. A great tribute to your sister. I love the way you put it, sir. Like she's a combination of my mom and dad. My mom was soft and gentle and lovable. My father was a strict person, very authoritative and a disciplinarian, right? Yes,
It was the period of those times.
very true.
You ask any one of my friends, all their fathers were like that only.
Yes.
It is not that, my dad was only strict. Every house, whenever the dad was there, we never went into the friend's house. Those were the times. They had faced more testing times than us. And literally, I would like to say that I've grown in a family where literally there was nothing. I've seen my mother cook with the wooden sticks initially. Then go to that coal stove, which in Maharashtra they call sigdi. Then you go to the wick stove, then the pump stove, then from the gas stove to the microwave oven. She was one lucky lady to see everything. And when you are brought up in such a kind of atmosphere throughout, you have desires, but you will not have a greed. You will have aspirations. You will achieve those aspirations. But there is not that insane kind of greed, which, makes you literally into a different person altogether. So that's why even today, all my school friends after 78 are well connected. We have a group of 52 people in the WhatsApp. And couple of days, if you're not putting a good morning, someone phones you. What happened? Are you okay? Why no good morning has come from your side?
That's really nice to have someone to connect with you and ask you why you have not posted a good morning. Are you okay? Checking on you. That's beautiful. That's excellent. So, you mentioned about the ill health of your sister, but you personally, you were born with a certain defect in your heart, a congenital heart defect. And that has been a source of trouble to you right from your birth, during your school days. And you faced a lot of it. If there's a weather change, you would be affected. You also underwent a surgery as well. So if you can take us on that journey with regard to your health, like you've been very strong and, faced it very bravely. You've matured a lot, understanding the reality of what's troubling you physically, like inwardly, right? And so, how were you tough? Like you're one tough cookie, as you've mentioned. in your book.
People would say I am a tough cookie,
Mm-hmm.
but when you live in a constant fear that every day something can happen, it automatically toughens you up.
Very
You
true.
need not do anything special self-talk to toughen you up. You know that one day you are fantastic, but the next day you can be back in the bed. So it really sorts of toughens you. My problem at that time was there was a hole in the heart, and there was a little bit of the valve not thick enough, expanded enough to allow the blood to pass through properly. So my case, one side the wall was not expanded enough. The other side there was a hole. So this somehow kept the circulation going. Like because you have two at the same time, it ensured that your heart was beating. It was working. So whenever I used to strain myself, like play cricket or doing something beyond what I'm used to doing regularly, I used to get a lot of upper respiratory infections. Cold used to affect me a lot, and you were down for a period of time. So you have to take your penicillin injections to boost your body up. And we used to live in a railway colony where once I fell very badly sick. So same 1 week of penicillin dose had to be taken. Fortunately, we had a hospital nurse next door. So she used to come after duty around 7 o'clock to administer the injection to me. And I had this good friend of mine from the colony, our school people leader when we were in 10th standard, S. Vishwanath, who is currently the director of Tattva Global Schools in Hyderabad. So that guy used to come all the way to my house, tell me what all lessons happened, wait for me to take the injection, then he would go back to his home. And finally, it went on. So in 1986, I played a cricket match, badly down after that. Then my father asked, what do we do? I was into the first year of my college where I had to discontinue it. Then I said, let's go for the surgery. If it is successful, fine, I'll be a better person. Something happens, and if I'm not there after the surgery, then at least you have 3 other people to still fall back on. Only one will be missing. So that surgery went off nicely. In those times, I'm lucky to be operated by a great panel of doctors. The doctor who operated on me was K.M. Cherian, today director of the Frontier Lifeline Hospitals. There was one doctor called K.N. Reddy, the cardiologist. There was another surgeon called Dr. Balakrishna, who is now somewhere director of a huge hospital. And there was one anesthetist by name Dr. R.K. Kalyan Singh, who was chosen as the anesthetist when Dr. M.G. Ramachandran was ill in Chennai, and he was flown to US for treatment. So this doctor was chosen as a cardiologist. Maybe God wanted to be make something out of me. So he sent in those great personalities to work on my heart surgery. But in those 2 months where I was in hospital, I was never like a patient. Young at the age of 17, you are in hospital.
You went around all the beds
Hey,
collecting
I was
information,
there. Yes,
right?
I was
Of
there.
all the patients, and the nurse, whenever she wanted any information, you would give out the
Yes,
information.
absolutely.
Very,
So
very.
those were the days, when you felt you can motivate anybody.
I mean, you
But
forgot your own self. Like, you did not concentrate on the pain that you were going through. You were
yes,
interested in like the lives of others, the other patients who were there. When we are interested in other people, we forget our own sorrow. Don't you think that's right?
definitely.
Yes, I think that somehow you have done that in a very beautiful way, forgetting your
There
own pain
was
and
there was one
showing.
more friend of mine from the same colony
Mm-hmm.
who also had to be operated. So you have guy from your own colony. So you talk incessantly. Then you go around inquiring people, whoever used to speak Telugu at that time, being in Tamil Nadu, Tamil. So doing a bit of translation for them with the nurses, with the doctors,
I guess
arranging.
even you even helped in someone
Yes,
understanding,
yes,
yes, the
yes.
surgery has to be done or something like that.
There
Is
was there was a surgery scheduled for another person a couple of days later,
mm-hmm.
and I had my surgery only a couple of days before that. So done, I was in the normal ward relaxing. So this people were discussing in with the sister regarding the blood to be arranged.
Mm-hmm.
The person arranging the donation spoke Tamil, and these people could not speak Tamil. So like I became a go-between for about 45 minutes, translating each other. Ultimately, the blood was arranged perfectly. The man's surgery also went off nicely. And then the family came and thanked my mother especially because she was present during all that discussion and she did not interrupt saying, "You take rest." So they went and thanked her for allowing me to talk to them for so much of a time. Maybe it's your inbuilt nature that just comes through in a crisis.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing that. We'll take a small break of 5 minutes and we'll be back again, right?
Right, ma'am.
Yes, we'll be back in just 5 minutes. If you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, connecting with the right kind of unsung heroes, professionals, authors, common people, like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. We'll be back soon in just a moment. So, dear friends, we are back again now. We'll continue the session and we'll get to know more about Sir's journey, how he has been able to overcome all the difficult challenges. He's faced a lot of ups and downs. We all do face. He has had the courage to write it down such that we could read and derive a lot of inspiration. If you'd love to become authors, if you'd love to become a writer, you'd like to write your autobiography, you could do that. Start today. Don't procrastinate. And you can meet the right kind of publishers and get your book published. It could be a source of inspiration to several people out there. So I'd love to now know the incident about the slippers and the insert that you done. It was quite hilarious when I was reading it. It was so funny. I just closed my eyes and I just imagined you in that form with slippers and neatly dressed with in shirt, and you tucked your shirt in very well. Over to you to share that journey.
That was actually a very funny incident if you look at it. But it was a life-changing incident. A team of group study exchange people had come down from US. And I was in the 6th standard. Normally, we in the school used to have an interact club. The membership starts at 8th standard. And once you finish your school after 10th and go back to junior college, then you are not a part of that. So usually at those time, now it is not there, but Rotary International had a program. There used to be 5 people from any part of the world visiting the other part of the world as a part of an exchange program. Say 5 people from one Rotary district would travel to another Rotary district anywhere in the world to study their professions and live with the Rotarians and go through this. So one team from America had come visiting our school interact club, and it was a Sunday. I don't know why my headmistress asked me to come. Even today, I don't know what made her to ask me to come. She said, tomorrow we have a team coming and I want you in school by this time. And mind you, no school uniform. You can come in your, at that time we had a wonderful name for that. It was called color dress.
Color dress.
Color dress. And the day you wear color dress, you felt on top of the world. And those were the era of bell-bottom pants. So I took my best shirt, best half pant, put it in, tucked in all nicely like a good schoolboy. Then I decided whether to wear shoes or not. My father told me wear shoes and go. I told no, color dress lala shoe podakudadu. You should wear chappals and go. Dad, leave me on a Sunday. So he said he knew what was coming next because he knew our headmistress very well. He said nothing, go. I went. And as I entered the school, to my bad luck, she was standing right in front of me. And she called me and she said, you are nicely dressed. But why this slippers? Do one thing. Either remove the inshirt and sit with the slippers, or go back home, wear shoes and come. Now, when your headmistress tells you, you don't remove the tuck of the shirt and sit down, you will go home, wear the shoes and come back. Now, though it is silly, that left a very sharp lesson in my mind. One, dress well. Two, dress appropriate. I see a lot of poor guys in sales wearing a tie, tucking the shirt in, coming in slippers. Whatever might be their economical condition or whatever it is, you feel sorry for them. But I would rather blame those managers who deal with them, saying that they did not teach them the proper way of etiquettely dressing nicely with whatever resources you have. So I say to all my salespeople, spend less on your clothing, doesn't matter. Buy a good one, wear it neatly, and present yourself in a very presentable manner. Though I am not simply one of the well-dressed guys. The best dressed guys in my home were my father and my immediate younger brother. Both of them had an excellent sense of dressing, something which I could never emulate in their life. So sometimes when I feel wear a coat or something, I say to myself, a mule in a tuxedo is still a mule. But that incident really changed you regarding how to be presentable. Today, your CEOs are groomed on etiquettes. CEOs are groomed on how to use knife and fork, how to order Italian, or something which leaves you a profound impact. So that's it.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that incident with us. That's really nice. It's also in the book nicely described. You mentioned bell bottom now, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us something about Gabbar Singh? Sholay, Gabbar Singh, dialogues, and all of
Sholay
your
Gabbar
mom
Singh.
as well.
Sholay Gabbar Singh is one of the iconic guys in the world. The character will fade away only when cinema fades away in India. Not only Gabbar Singh, there are many iconic characterizations done by many actors, which would only fade away when cinema fades away. Now, my mother had the fascination of dressing up people for fancy dress competitions. Now, in that place, Nelikupam, where we grew up, it was basically a factory called EID Parry, sugar factory, run by the Britishers. So for them, this Christmas and New Year's Day, there used to be a lot of celebrations. And all the kids used to be, fancy dressed. And my mother used to experiment all her fancy dress on my uncle and aunt. So she'll make them up, one like a bishop. She once told me that I made your uncle a bishop, wearing all that complete dress with the cross, that white beard, everything, like he was dressed like a priest.
Okay.
Huh? Then she made my auntie, her sister, was still in school, college at that time. She made her dress like a nomad and sing those nomadic songs, what the nomadic people used to sing at that time. So she has all this practice. Now, when a drama invitation comes from school for mono acting, now naturally she has to do some experiment on me. She said, "You are speaking the dialogues of Gabbar Singh." So she stitched the bell bottom, that green color pant shirt completely with that, and almost killed me till I memorized all the dialogues. And finally, when I let it out on the stage, I managed to get the third individual Best Actor award. And that is the only prize in acting I've got till date.
Do you remember the dialogues now?
Dialogues are, I always remember, ma'am, but saying it
Could you
would be,
please repeat the dialogue for us?
that would be too, elaborate.
I think the dialogue is like, kitne aadmi the, something like that.
Kitne aadmi the is actually the start.
Okay.
Kitne aadmi the is actually the start. But as you go along those dialogues, there is a lot of reflection about Gabbar Singh's character.
Mhm.
So there is one where he turns to his colleague Samba and asks, "Arey o Samba, कितना इनाम रखा है रे सरकार ने हम पर?"
Wow.
So Samba says, "पूरे 50,000." So Gabbar Singh replies, "सुना, पूरे 50,000, और ये 50,000 इसलिए है कि कोस कोस दूर गांव में जब रात को बच्चा रोता है तो मां कहती है, बेटे सो जा, नहीं तो गब्बर सिंह आ जाएगा." If you take it in today's marketing terms, that is creating a brand value for yourself. 50,000 at that time, the ransom, the award for making Gabbar Singh to the police station is the brand value of Gabbar Singh. So in those childhood days, it was just memorize the dialogue for the heck of that. Do that, still great fun. And sometimes when nothing to do, just in front of the mirror, I become sometimes Gabbar Singh, I become Amitabh Bachchan, I become a lot of characters.
That's very interesting.
Keeps you sort of alive.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. You've mentioned nomadic. Your mom dressed up your sister as a nomadic girl, like, as a gypsy, like, right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
mentioned the word nomadic. Now, I'd like to bring your focus on this. You also had a nomadic existence, you mentioned in the book,
Right.
and you had to change schools, and it was
Yes.
the railway mixed high school.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
had a lot of different types of activities going on over there, and you got a lot of support from the right kind of mentors and teachers
Yes.
over there. Would you
Yes.
like to share this journey of the nomadic existence that you had during your early childhood?
Definitely. The first remembrance is where we were in Sholapur, Maharashtra. Born in Tamil Nadu, place which is tropical and hot. Shifting to Maharashtra, cold weather, not knowing what to expect. You don't even know the language of the region. There were two languages spoken at that time. One is Hindi and the other is Marathi. And Maharashtra is like being in Mumbai, you would know. Mumbai is alag from Maharashtra. The Marathi what is spoken in Mumbai, totally different Marathi spoken in the interior Maharashtra. For example, you say what is behind is party. In Maharashtra, in Mumbai language, it is party. But in Sholapur, unless you say party magi, no one will understand it is back. So there was one school, St. Joseph's High School, where we were put because there was no railway school in Sholapur at that time. Railways used to run a lot of schools and hospitals for their employees, education as well as healthcare. So we didn't have a railway school over there. So I was in St. Joseph School, where there was this teacher called Mrs. Desai. What's her first name? I don't remember. But she was what you call a real taskmaster. One fine day I went to school. I had swollen cheeks. One cheek was nice, another was nicely swollen, like one pineapple. She saw me and asked, "What is this?" Now, in those days, you hardly looked at the mirror. Your mother combed your hair, she tucked you, get lost. Now, I was surprised. What is wrong, teacher? What are you asking? She said, one side of your cheek is swollen, man. This is an infection called mumps. So I can't allow you to sit in with the other people in the class. I'll put a chair for you outside. You will be in the veranda of the class for the entire day. Then when my father's help came to pick me up, he got a tongue lashing. He got a tongue lashing. She said, your boss said, leave this fellow in school and come. You came and left. Your boss does not understand what is happening to the child, and neither is the mother. And she told me, once you finish, you bring your parent. So that subsides in a couple of days or 3. That time I realized, during COVID time, when people bandied the word isolation, quarantine, array, this happened to me in childhood here. What nonsense are people talking? So my mother had this little bit of an egoistic quality in her. And especially when a teacher challenges, you're not taking care of the child. Unknown to me, she had come to school one day. I don't know what transpired between my teacher and my mother. The next day, teacher gave me 10 books of copywriting. Those days, in the running hand, if you don't write the A, P properly, you get caned. So she made me write, and I was wondering why I'm back to kindergarten. 1 month she tortured me to write. Then one day she called me, come to the board. Now you are hardly reaching the board. Gave me a chalk piece. I will read out the sentence, you write. The other kids will copy. I wrote it. Then after a few seconds, she said, come in. I was wondering who she is coming. In walked my mother. Then only I realized there was a complaint that this guy's handwriting is not good. And believe me, the handwriting what I wrote that day till today remains same. But nowadays it's more of a scribbling than a handwriting. So you had teachers to help you out. Then when we shifted to Railway Mixed High School, Kazipet, was this gentleman called Dr. Parabrahma Shastri, a very strict headmaster, but a very patriotic and nationalistic guy. There were competitions among children to sing Vande Mataram. There were competition among children to sing Sanskrit prayers. And even any faith, whatever you have, whether you are a Muslim, whether you are a Christian, whatever faith teaches you, those faith could be reproduced in school without any fear. And he used to educate people in such a way that every annual day function, every class should present a drama or some kind of acting. And there I did my second Hindi drama called Bina Mare Swarg Nahi. It's between
Mare Swarg Nahi.
Bina Mare Swarg Nahi. So unless you die, you will not get heaven also. Coincides. No one should cry when I die, probably. Didn't know at that time. So these were the activities which were well encouraged other than the sports. We used to have a football ground right in front of our school. So after school, it was watching all those players play football with those green color socks, jerseys and all. Then when we shifted to Vijayawada, the school where I studied, Railway Mixed High School, has been the foundation of not for me, but all my friends, my seniors, the juniors after us. Everyone will unanimously say the best education we had ever in our life was in that Railway Mixed High School. You had a combination of teachers who will teach you subjects with such simplicity that you fall in love with the subject. And our physical director, or we call him PET teacher at that time, drill master, Gopalakrishna by name, a North Indian. He was the guy who not only taught us sports, but also how to pronounce Hindi words correctly. He was the one who taught us the difference between Mumbai Hindi and Delhi Hindi. Because we were thinking Hindi is the same everywhere. But he only told, if you go to Hyderabad, people will say Nakko Miya. This Nakko will not work in Delhi. We won't understand. Nakko is okay in Hyderabad. What is wrong with people of Delhi? India only after all. Then he said the language what you speak, your Amitabh Bachchan language, अपन बोल रहा है, ये इधर से नहीं जाने का, शाना है क्या? He told all this is Mumbai language. You go to Delhi and say Shana hai kya, nobody will understand. And even he says in Delhi, if you say no, you have to completely utter the sentence nahi chahiye. So these kind of all simple things what we gathered in life stand us even today in good stead. So the Hindi foundation was laid at that time. And really proud to say those teachers, the Hindi teachers, the mathematics teachers, social, science, everyone helped us in such a way. You know, they molded you for anything you wanted to become. You wanted to become a writer, you could become a writer. You wanted to be a sportsman, you could be a sportsman. You wanted to be an engineer, you could be an engineer. And many engineers who have come out. There are agricultural scientists in my batch. So that sort of education actually takes you to a higher level. We used to support the school. 2012, we formed an initiative. We'll give scholarships to children in the school. But after 3, 4, 5 years of our support, Railways decided to close the school permanently now. So that Railway Mixed High School, Vijayawada, English medium is not there. We all felt very bad and sad when someone told that our school is not existing anymore. But still, when we pass through that lane of the school, it gives you that, transports you instantly back to.
You become nostalgic.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing all of that. Thank you very much. I've also read in your book that when you went for a job interview, you were like you were not at ease. Like they put you in a difficult situation by commenting that you can't get this job because you have a paunch. Am I right?
Right.
I would like, but anyway, you back the job.
Right.
You back the job through your skill,
Yes.
your grit, your
Yes.
determination, and perseverance.
Yes.
Now, this is a good message to all the youngsters. Like, no matter what, keep pursuing, be persistent, you will definitely get a job in the right place. So I'd love you to share this journey as a message to the youngsters, in
Yes.
spite of being ridiculed on that or being, poked on that particular part of your life or maybe your body, So that's hurting sometimes. Not sometimes, always it hurts if
Yes.
anyone says something.
Even today it hurts.
Yeah, even when I read it, it was like, oh my God, what is this? So I felt it was very unfair on his part. But then as I kept reading on, I felt good that you were able to manage the situation and you won over that situation and you backed the job. Now, how did you win over the situation? If you can just briefly
The
explain.
situation was very simple. I had seen an advertisement. If you love to talk, talk to us. That was the advertisement given by the managing director of Usha Fire Safety, Mr. Jagdish Adappa. So I was already into marketing. I was on assistant manager with Nova Industries, distributors of Mitsubishi air conditioners at that time. Had a good connected dealer network and I was doing fairly well. Now it says we require trainers. Now, lifelong, I had that aspiration to be a trainer, but no opportunity. So I called the number given. First time it went to a secretary of boss by name Vasanti. She said, sir, this ad is given by our MD, sir. I'll note down your number and ask him to call you. Afternoon, no call. Picked up and called it again. Answered by his son, Manjesh Adappa, who is currently the director of business operations. He said, sir, the number has been diverted to my number. I'll ask father to speak to you. Finally, evening, I could connect to that number. Then Mr. Adappa said, can you come down for an interview tomorrow? I went there. Saw about 5, 6 other candidates sitting over there. He made me sit down, looked at me and said straight away, I cannot take you as a trainer. And he repeated this in Tamil. உங்களுக்கு தொப்பை இருக்கு தம்பி. You have a paunch. I can't take it. Now I thought a trainer needs communication. What has a paunch got to do with communication? I said, it's okay, sir. But anyway, he said, it's okay. You sit down. I'll give you a chance to speak. Then when he heard me speak, he understood that this guy can communicate. From there, he sent all the other candidates out and he started my interview. First, knowing what I'm doing and other things. And then he said, come back next week. So again, I went next week, another follow-up interview was done. So this time what he did was, he surprised me with another sort of challenge. He made 4 top employees sit down. There was one Mr. A.K. Palani, who is the executive director today. There was one S. Janaki, she is my immediate boss, general manager training. And this Vasanti was there, couple of others, and MD sir was there. So he gave me a subject. You are a salesman. Why do you want to become a trainer? Speak. No preparation, nothing. Speak. I started in English, talking. Then he said, cut. You told you speak Hindi also. Can you speak the same in Hindi? Now, deliver in Hindi. Then he said, what is your mother tongue? Tamil, sir. Deliver in Tamil. Then any other language you know? Telugu, sir. Deliver in Telugu. Whether anyone understood my Telugu or not, I don't remember. But having seen all this, then he said, this guy can communicate. Let's work on him as a trainer. But later he revealed, he took me with an intention of double mind. In the sense, he thought this guy can communicate. If he becomes a trainer, good for me. If he doesn't succeed as a trainer, I can anyway put him in marketing. He revealed to me after 5, 6 years that this was my intention behind you taking. And thank you that you succeeded as a trainer and you have made a name. So from a corporate trainer to a national health safety trainer, it's been a journey of 18 years, full of challenges, unlimited training programs, part of being international certifications, and loved by customers. And in fact, one of the very best customers whom we serve for a long time, a windmill industry, they said, sir, we are planning a library in our office and we need your No One Should Cry When I Die to be kept in the library to inaugurate it. So I can say it's been one journey from a rejection to becoming everything. And he was very gracious enough to launch my book on the 1st of January. Our director of business operations, Manjesh Adappa, said, sir, I know you have published the book, but I will launch it for you. Usha Fire Safety will launch the book officially for you. The print, I never thought I could get it on time, but I got it thanks to the help of Divya Balaji and her team, which made it possible. So now I can claim I'm a published author.
Excellent, sir. What I'd like to know now is like, you are still working in the same organization?
Yes,
I mean, the Paunch incident till date?
yes.
Wow.
Paunch still exists.
It's the same organization you're working in.
Yes.
What an achievement that is, right? That's really nice. You've been looking on.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Why you work for an organization for long?
They treat you well. You get to learn a lot.
Obviously. Obviously.
You're respected in your organization.
They treat me well.
Valued.
They look after me. They've been through every happiness of mine. They've been a part of every sorrow or sadness of mine. I just have to look back, make a call, they're there for me. So, and the job, yes, being a trainer, I love traveling, going places. When a company books your flight ticket, when your company takes care of your hotel accommodation, going and deliver a training to the best of my abilities is the minimum what I can do for the organization.
Very true.
It's just the bare minimum.
Now, sir, your father wanted you to become an engineer. And till the very last, he was like not happy with you choosing what you've chosen now. And you
Yes.
are in that field now. He wanted you to be an engineer. And every now and then he had something or the other to complain about you or to, I remember the incident with regard to the torch light and the emergency lamp.
Yes.
That was really hilarious. Like, and at the same time, I was feeling, why is this person behind, behind you? I mean, your dad behind you. Like,
Right.
even at this age, what does he still want? Like, I was like feeling, I wouldn't have tolerated that. Like, I'd have been irritated. I would like snap back or maybe back answer. How did you manage with this constant bickering? Like, you did not join engineering, or you are not what you are supposed to be, or what I expected you to be. Like, most of the parents have this
It is the very simple part of the upbringing what we have gone through. The atmosphere wherein which we grew up. The value system was you never talk back loudly to your elders. They might be wrong. They might be wrong. And you are absolutely right. But still, you never talk back in a loud manner. 2, every father will have his expectations with their sons. Now, I have not fulfilled it. So it's for me to take the blame rather than blaming him, saying that now he wanted me to be an engineer. I could not become an engineer.
But you are not well, no, sir. You had certain health issues, right?
Ma'am, whatever it is in life, you may have health issues. You may have even study issues.
You are good at studies.
I
You are
was
very
good at
confident
studies,
in your studies.
always a 70% student. But I never worked hard to that extent to go to that 90%.
They had a problem with that too.
Hey, my father always had a problem. He said, once he said, you go to school, college, whatever, attend all the classes throughout the year, and you write the exam. You will end up with 70 to 75%. That is your natural ability to get marks.
Did it not hurt you when he spoke like that?
Hurts. But you have to take it on yourself, right? Yes, it hurts. It's up to me. When today a lot of my friends are there who even today tell me, Bagar, if you had worked a little more harder, you would have been somewhere. Now after 3 idiots, you can say, what you have become, what I have become. That's a different story. But altogether, yes, I do regret not being an engineer because most of my school friends are. Every one of my uncles was an engineer. So when you have a family of so much, now you have not become an engineer. That's a sort of aberration, right? But later on, my father too reconciled to the fact that this guy has chosen a profession he loves. And he's the best at that. And he used to proudly call up his brothers and all, you know what my son is doing? is going around giving all these emergency response training, and every company wants him only. Now, how many companies wanted me, God knows, but he used to give a bigger picture.
Hype it a little.
That's part of a parenting now. My mother never expressed it. He expressed it. That's the only difference.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing that. Now we'd like to talk about love. You fell in love with who I will not ask you. Let that be a secret. But
Right.
if I could put this right, like when you lose someone you love, or when you break up with somebody who you love, and that is really quite painful. So how did that impact you?
That was a phase of life where, everyone goes through that.
Very true.
If you have to use a correct word, it was more an infatuation than true love. Like you live in colonies.
How old were you? How old were you?
I was around 2021 at that time. Around 2021. So that's an age where, it's a hormone cycle. Being, in a confined sort of environment, there is a world beyond, but there is a world inside this railway colony. And the problem was most of them are your friend, sister, or your brother or something. And somewhere something, people get infatuated. And infatuation was taught as love. And those were the days when romantic movies were the peak. Ashiki was one of the topmost movies at that time. The songs blaring from every loudspeaker. So like it was like a season of love in the air without knowing what is love.
Very true, sir. I mean, you put it very right. You have to really understand the real importance of love, the meaning of love. It's, if you're infatuated by somebody or with somebody, then that's
So
not
that's
right.
all. I would always call it an infatuation. But to put a color to it, you put a word called love. And these things would definitely not stand for. Because she was from a different faith altogether. I am from a different faith altogether. And those were the days, like it was not the way.
If given a chance, would you love to meet her?
I would love to meet her, but I understand she is no more there in this world.
Oh, I'm so
She
sorry.
was working as a lecturer in a college. Unfortunately, she had a heart attack in the college itself, and she departed. Anyway, a friend of, she was the sister of my friend. So, and even I called up my friend and asked, how did you guys let this happen? And he said, I'm too in a state of shock. Okay.
You have a heart, heart defect, and she expired.
No
Something like
coincidence.
it's an
There is,
irony.
there is no coincidence.
No coincidence, but somehow, if you think from my, view, like, I mean, see, you are, like to put it like, you have a heart defect and then she expires.
So
Yes.
that's how it happens.
Yes, sir. I'd like to ask you about the vacuum cleaner.
I sold that product when it was.
That's your first job, right?
Yes. Selling vacuum cleaners actually taught me life. Life as a salesman.
Knocking on the doors, door to door, right?
Yes. Today, I really envy the salespeople. These guys today have things on their fingertips. Now you need to make a call to a company. You click on Google, the history of the company is there. So you get enough material as a salesman to talk about, other than the product. But we didn't have that. And the vacuum cleaners were more of a household product ahead of their time. Today, even today, vacuum cleaners are ahead of the time because everyone buys, but nobody uses.
Very true.
So in those days, it was always the same. But knocking on the door, convincing the customer to watch the demo of that, then do the demo, make the follow-up calls, deliver the product all by yourself after he orders, show him another demonstration, collect the payment. The entire sales cycle is followed. Something which even today I love to do is cold calling.
What is cold calling?
Cold calling is nothing but you tap on a door, unknown.
Is it only tap the door, or you can also make a call?
No, even a call on a phone is also a cold call. A telephonic cold call. You don't know who's the customer. You pick up XYZ number. Sir, can I speak to Mr. So-and-so? What do you want? I'm from so-and-so company. We have this product. We request your time for demo, blah, blah, blah.
Sometimes they are quite rude, like they just cut you off and snap back at you. They chase you off.
Obviously.
So how did it feel when you, if at all, you've been sent away like that, or you've been
For a moment or two, you feel bad. Readjust the tie. Knock the next door. Knock the next door. Because if at all you want to be the best salesman, you have to face maximum rejections. A guy who gets orders just like that means he's not 100% work for it. Someone else has faced all the rejections, taken all the kicks, and finally when it comes to take the order, that person might not have been there. The other person who had come in his place would have benefited. So as a salesman, number one, or in life, first thing you would always face is a rejection. And when you face rejections multiple times, sort of get used. And when somebody does the opposite, gives you an order, you are like over the moon. And once one or two orders start flowing, then it never stops. So now you have understood psychology of customers, you understood how the system works. You know what prepared lies you have to tell, what unprepared lies you have to tell. Yes, sometimes delivery is not going to happen for next 5 days. But we'll hit the desk on the customer's place and say, within 3 hours, the product will be there. It'll never be there. But somehow you manage, stick around, deliver the results. One side, your company is after you for not delivering results. So all that actually teaches you life. Two things will teach you life, I have believed. One is being a salesman, and two, being a sportsman. Sports teaches you to play fair within the rules. It teaches you to win gracefully. It teaches you even more to lose very gracefully. And same is the kind of sales. You lose an order, congratulate the competitor, move on to the next fight. Sometimes you win, competitor congratulates you. He says, okay, next time I will not leave you. It's a sort of a friendly rivalry. End of the day, you sit down with your competitor, have a cup of tea. And okay, kaisa chal raha hai tumhara company mein? What is happening to the market? Generally, we discuss what is happening to the market. Because he's not getting orders, I'm not getting orders. So that's how life as a salesman really. I feel if I'm able to make more of an impact as a trainer, it's due to my experience as a sales. So you analyze straight away looking at the faces, which guy is getting bored of your talk. So you can tailor make a lot of things.
You were also good at giving speeches in school, if I'm not mistaken. You were good at giving speeches in school. If you can just share any one incident that you remember, like you went with one of the female students. I mean, yes, I don't get it. Vijaya or Vijay?
Vijay Bhargavi.
Vijaya Bhargavi, right? Like, and you also won the prize, I think the second best school.
Yes. It was actually a state level competition. I used to win a lot within the city competitions. Within the city, railway school Vijayawada, especially the 10th class batch, what we studied was the number one quiz team of that particular city. Or in the entire district, there was no school which could defeat us in a quiz competition. So we were so terrific in that. In fact, we never faced a defeat. Led by one of our most intelligent quizzers, N.S. Srinivas. who was our school first. We had a terrific team. But more than quizzing, it was speeches that actually gave me the kick. So it was in the month of February 83, we got this invitation to participate in a state level debate competition. And the topic was co-education. Now selections were being done in school just to ensure to select a partner for me. So there were rounds of selection, and finally this girl, who is a junior to us by 1 year in school, Vijay Bhargavi, she was selected. And she also happens to be the sister of one of our classmates by name Gayatri. Sadly, she is not there in this world today. So we went to a totally different district. And the competition was in Maharaja College of Vijayanagaram.
He happened to be the first speaker in the competition?
Yes.
And you were the 16th speaker?
My colleague was the first speaker in the competition.
Yes.
And I was the 16th speaker.
Yes.
Among 24.
Okay, so she was the first one and you were the 16th speaker.
She was given 5 minutes. We were given 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
She completed her speech in 4 minutes. Now it was up to me. So I gave my best. Then my teacher, D.R.K. Sharma, who was there along with me, taught me how to study an audience. After the speech, he said, now look around. If someone is looking at you and smiling, you have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody is discussing, showing, pointing fingers to you, you have a chance. Go around, study and all this. But whenever I looked at the faces, nobody smiled at me. I thought, Arey gaya. But finally, when the results were announced, it was a surprise because we were the second best team. We were the second best team. And I was the second best individual speaker. And we had a cash award of at that time of 200 rupees, which was huge.
You used it to take your friends for a movie,
Disco
am I right?
dancer. Disco dancer.
Disco dance, Mithun Chakravarti. You treated all your friends there, right?
Even today, there are arguments. She won because of you. You gave her half the money. You should have taken that money also. Now, she is a doctor in London.
Are you in contact with her?
Not much. Not much except in Facebook or social media. And she also being a doctor, she once gave CPR to a person on a flight in Jet Airways to save life.
Interesting.
It's always
what about Ravi? What about Ravi, Helen, Gausia?
Ravi, Helen, Gausia, and were part of my kindergarten and primary school friends. I do not know where they are, in fact. But I still remember those innocent faces. This Ravi guy used to be more like a comedian of those times. Make all people laugh. There was this chubby Anglo-Indian guy called Dallas Narona. Probably might be in Dallas, I don't know. But these guys were like your early childhood friends, playing cricket, learning a lot of things, teasing each other. And then it's a part of all the growing up, where sometimes you remember them, sometimes I may remember. I do not know whether they remember me.
We wish that they view this.
But I believe that if I remember them, they could remember me.
How sweet.
Only a connection has not happened. Now, who will recognize whom is a big doubt now. It's like that.
I have met many of my classmates on Facebook, and it was a real joy to connect with them after so many years. We've reconnected after 30 years. Like, that's really a joy. So I'm sure you will definitely meet all your friends. Right?
Every time. Now, I've got friends in all my places across India. So whenever I'm there, I visit a friend. These days, we have to meet more on occasions of kids' marriages and all those things. So 17th March, one of the guys, Vishwanath, whom I told you, his son is getting married. So we'll gather around for the reception.
Okay, sir. Have anyone ever asked you why you are not married? Like, did they force you?
There's no force. I always
Amma,
tell
Appa?
them,
What about Amma and Appa?
Amma, Appa put in their efforts, did not
Were
pay
not
off.
interested.
It did not pay off.
Okay.
I mean, see, it takes both sides to agree, right? There is always agreement on one side only. And many felt my heart condition was a deterrent for them to take the next step. Even though corrective surgery, no medicines, anything, but still they felt that what will happen to my daughter's future and all. Salute to them. Take care of their. And probably one of my doctors once told me, probably God has planned something huge for you. Wait for it. Be patient. We'll see.
It's true. Also, if you are like in just sharing this, if you are also into a marriage union, like the stress that is there in marriage, the pressure that is there in marriage, like that would have really, most of them go down because of that pressure and the disagreement.
Correct.
Sometimes, there's a lot of pressure and lots of adjustments. So I think as a single bachelor, you're a happy-go-lucky man. Uh, That's really nice,
Enjoy life as it comes.
very true. And many of us who have already married and had children, all of us, like we think, oh my God, why did we marry? It is best, like, stay single.
There is this wonderful saying, right? The grass is always green on the
Greener
other
on
side.
the other side. So whenever I face any stress or anything, I feel, oh my God, why did I get married? It's best I would have been a spinster. And like, as you mentioned, the grass
In
is
fact,
always greener on
last
the other side.
last week when I was hospitalized for a couple of days, one of my friends called me up and said, high time, man. Now see, you are in hospital. If you had married, somebody would have been there next to you. It's a part of life. Goes on.
So that's really very interesting having a conversation with you. We hope and wish that you find lots of joy and peace in what you do and connect with many more new friends and have wonderful people around you. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey on the International Fab Talks. And we would love people to read this book. That is,
So just hold it up to the camera for one more time.
yes, yes, please.
So this
You
is
can
the book.
just, yeah, you can say something about the book before we sum up.
Yeah, the book
You can raise
basically,
the book up and show them and speak about it.
see, this book is basically about a journey of a common man, how common it has been, and also how uncommon it has been. But still, enjoy being a common man. Write your own story. No one is going to write your story. You rather write your own story in whatever way. As William Somerset Maugham says, the best way to become an author or a writer is start writing. Just start writing. Grammatical, all the things will be taken care by the professional editors. And lucky to get a wonderful editor, Divya Balaji. And thanks to her editing and whatever words I could write, she made me look not like a first-time author, but someone who has been writing books for a long time. So wish everyone read this book. It may not transform anyone's life, but it certainly gives you an insight into your life as to how better you can be. So I believe in the quote of a sportsman named Kobe Bryant. He propagated a theory called Mamba mentality. Now, when you hear Mamba, people always think of a snake. But here, Mamba mentality, he says, is being the best version of yourself. So I've given my life a chance by saying that I too can be an author. Not one book. Maybe before the time comes, I would like definitely to have 10, 15 books on my name.
And I
Let's
love
wait a
that
minute.
spirit. Excellent, excellent. I love that spirit. Very positive on that note. What I learned after reading this book, what I was able to draw, into my head, or what inspiration I derived, to put the right words. The inspiration that I got after reading this book was, usually I keep cribbing that this is happening with me, that is happening with me. Why did it happen to me? All the small, small things, the ups and downs. Usually all the downs, why did this happen? Like, but after reading your book, I was like, oh my God, this person has been through such a lot. Personally, with regard to your health, personally, with regard to your family members, especially your dad was like wanting something more from you, expecting something more. Even your mom also wanted something. They knew you were not well, knew something was not okay with you, but still they were wanting you to achieve a little more, especially in studies and of course with your job as well. How you underwent especially during your professional journey, when you explained that in your book, it was really, really, it could help everyone who's going through a low bounce back and come back. If not here, somewhere else. If not there, then somewhere else. You will always get a chance to find your footing and to get a good job. Don't give up, right?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
it's like this also. No matter how many times you fall, get up again.
Correct.
This is what I've learned from your professional journey. And of course, with your health wise also, when I've been reading all of that, very, very interesting. And once if you sit that till you finish off the book, like you still want to continue on and on reading.
In fact, I wanted one of my friends to write the foreword. He first said, send me a copy of the book. 3 days later, he calls me up. I am ready with the foreword. I'll send it to you. And he said, I have finished your book in one sitting. And I really like the way you wrote it. And this guy, retired Air Force Commander Krishnamurthy. So this guy is very a stickler for all the English, grammar, everything. Now, the moment when he said, you have written it well, I understood. I've done a good job. When you get it from your close friends who have watched you grow up, and they know each and every mistake what you made, when they tell you that, yes, man, you have done a great job. So that's an achievement.
Very true.
And thanks once again for having me on International Fab Talks. I remember last year, Republic Day, we had a conversation, pretty long. You had to cut it into 4 parts to send it to me. But yes, thank you once again for inviting me. And thank you so much for reading my book and really wanting it to bring it out to people through your forum. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. No, I'm really happy that you shared that with us, and you really brought, you really created that a lively scene. Like, I lived through the book while I was reading it. I lived through the book. I could say that, like, it's really nice. And so it's available online on Amazon.
It's right now available. The ebook version is available on Kindle. I'm getting it registered on Amazon for direct selling. So once it is through, then people can order through Amazon, and I'll be sending the printed copy from my place to their address through Amazon.
So it's even available like in the hard copy version.
Yes, it is. Now this is the version which is the hot copy.
Okay. I mean, is it
And
available in bookstores?
Yes, it's not available as of now in bookstores. It is, I have printed limited quantities right now. So if someone wants this, can definitely make a payment through my Google Pay, which I'll give you the number, and send me your postal address so that I can arrange this copy duly signed by me for your reading of the paperback. So as for now, that much I can do. And once if the Amazon registration is done, I can give you the link so that you can go directly and order from Amazon also.
Excellent. So we'll put up the details in the description, my dear friends,
Sure.
so that you can connect with sir if you'd love to have a copy of this book. The title is really very catchy, and it's very true. No one should cry when we die, because we've already completed all our work, and it's time for us to relax. We should be, celebrated even when we die. When we celebrate life, we should also celebrate death and let go of people in a happy way, and not to hold on to anything, like, because change is constant. We should be prepared for all kinds of changes in our lives. So that's a wonderful journey with you. Thank you so much. Stay connected and stay blessed. Looking forward to many more sessions with you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank you for being humble, having a lot of patience, and you're very polite as well.
Thank you.
Stay connected.
That's been my nature throughout. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. My dear friends, with this, we come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. Please do share this video with the right kind of people. And of course, if you would love to buy this book, that is, No One Should Cry When I Die, you could connect with sir. We'll share the description details very clearly. Of course, sir's contact in the description details. And you could have a book for your own self. You can collect it and you can share it as a gift for somebody. And if you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. Be an avid reader. The more you read, the more intellectual being you become. You start becoming more intellectual. You start understanding the world better. It's not only the experiences that makes you better. It's also when you become a good reader, you get to understand the fine and the delicate part of dealing with people and connecting with people. Stay connected and stay blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. My dear friends, with this, we'd like to come to an end now to the International Fab Talks for today. If you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, connecting with the commoners, the unsung heroes, the professionals, people from all walks of life, we believe in equality, and we would love all of you to be a part of our journey. And my dear friends, share this video with the right kind of people. Let this book reach the right kind of people who could draw a lot of inspiration. Be an avid reader, and of course, don't forget to spend time with your family, spend time with nature, and be a great human being. Stay blessed and stay connected.